as entrepreneurs, we typically err on the optimistic side of things. So if you find yourself as somebody that is incredibly driven, hardworking, um, you have a large mission and vision in life, and people just absolutely don't understand you. And for some reason, because of this lack of understanding, you feel incredibly lonely on your path to success for whatever you're striving to go after. This video is for you. As entrepreneurs, we typically trend on the more optimistic side of the spectrum to where we feel that we can create. We can create this grand vision in our mind, and we can go out there and we can actually build this dream that we see in our head that we can't really communicate very well to other people that are in our standard circles, to where they're like, yeah, I don't understand what you're doing. Well, for years, I felt this way within my company, to where I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to build this company to do this. I'm going to help other people. I'm going to. And oftentimes my direct circle that I started my business in, so like my friends, my family, whatever, that I surrounded myself at the time, they were just like, I don't understand it. Like, and sometimes they don't mean to be rude, but they even kind of doubt you. And I feel like this is what people mean by it's lonely at the top, or it's lonely on this journey of entrepreneurship, because there's just something either off in our minds, or we're just a little bit crazy, or we're just so terribly optimistic that we can't see all the downsides that other people call downsides, that we just call, risk, or things that you're willing to go through, essentially, to get to the other side, to what it is that you want to build. So, I came across a quote by Dan Martell, and essentially he just said, if you want to live a life bigger than anybody in your family or your circle of friends, it's unreasonable for you to expect them to understand you. You ask them, why don't you believe in me? You're literally telling them that you're going to do something that you have never done before. And of course, they're going to think that you're crazy. And I thought about that. And uh, it was pretty eye opening to me, because we don't understand that other people are not like us. And so what you need to do is you need to find a group of people that are like you. And um, I finally found this family in 2021. And essentially, this family is used under a different term. It's been in existence for many years. It's in Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. And that's essentially a mastermind. So a mastermind is basically a group of like-minded people who get together and they solve each other's problems. And there's many mastermind groups out there. Some are much better than others. And in this video, we're going to break down how you can find your tribe, your family, to where you can um, not feel so lonely, but also like open up, be vulnerable, express your dreams and desires. And hell, maybe even somebody can help you decrease that time gap to actually get to where that you're going through mentorship. So it's kind of almost like a group mentorship in a way as well. So the mastermind that I ended up joining, the very first one, was called the Real Business Owners Mastermind. And I had been following their podcast for years. Actually, it's actually funny that I'm even recording this. I'm actually in their studio right now in St. George, Utah, filming this. But essentially, Real Business Owners, Trevor Kelly, Cale Goodman, really good people. They run a business. They were very particular as to the people that they selected. So when they finally opened up the doors to their mastermind, they're like, hey, we have limited seats for this RBO family mastermind, and we are going to take submissions for this. So I submitted my application to join the Real Business Owners Mastermind. And about 2 weeks later, I get an email stating that I had been accepted. Now, after I signed up, I actually found out that there was over 400 applications. They only accepted about 80 to 100 of those applications, and only about 30 to 40 of us actually paid and committed. And I remember whenever I took the call from Corey in the mastermind, where he dropped that it was going to be $25,000 for the year and that it was all due up front. And I just was like, man, I don't know that I can pay $25,000 just to go hang out with some people. And that was like my first, because I'm a very analytical buyer. And so I'm not an impulsive buyer. And so immediately I was like, man, $25,000, like I could do this. I can put it in real estate. I can put it in stocks. I could put it in all these other investments, but none of those guarantee any returns. And I got to thinking about it and I kind of slept on it and I kind of landed on that. I bet on me that I bet that if I spent $25,000 on my personal improvement into a group with other people that were also willing to spend $25,000 to be in a group together, then there's no way that I couldn't succeed, because finally I'll be in a group of people that think like me. Now, that's not always the case, and we'll get into that later, but that was just my initial thoughts. So I wire over the money, and shortly after we had our first meetup, and I remember going into it and I was expecting like a bunch of people. Like I expected to be the poorest guy in the room. I expect us to be, surrounding myself with people way above me. And I was right, but I was also wrong. There was a very young man. I think he was in his early 20s. His name's Yelisei, and he joined the group. There was a couple other young folks. And so we had people that were doing $10-20 million in business. And we had people doing $1 million in business. And not once did anybody in the group use their revenue and their business as a scorecard or like a measuring contest, if you know what I mean, to where there was ego derived into how much revenue they were doing. There was no Rolex watches that was trying to like, hey, look, I can outspend you type of deal. And in my opinion, this is the type of mastermind that you should seek out. There's nothing wrong with buying Rolexes, and there's nothing wrong with having Lamborghinis. But whenever that is used as the magnet to attract the crowd, I feel like you're going to get that type of crowd, meaning fast money, fast people, not really after true relationships, etc. So 2 years later of being in this mastermind, it's just a family. And they've done a good job at cultivating that culture, as well as making sure to protect it, meaning that we're very careful on who we bring in. It's actually, you can't just pay the money and just join, which is the case with a lot of other masterminds. One of my biggest cautions for masterminds 100% would be make sure that it's not a ascension program. Now, don't get me wrong. There's totally like the Tony Robbins, you enter in at this level and then you go to the next level. But to me, the Tony Robbins program is not a mastermind. That is a course. I'm going to a course to get better, to learn a specific thing. And then if they want to pitch me the next level and I'm a consumer, I'm willing to buy it. But what I consider a legitimate mastermind is a group where you can come together and be vulnerable and you're there to develop each other. Okay. And I've personally found that the best masterminds are the groups where the owners of the group, it's not their primary source of income. And that sounds very counterintuitive. It's very strange that you would think that the person who's making a mastermind is their sole version of income, that they would be the people who would have the best fulfillment. But almost 9 times out of 10 on all the masterminds I've joined, if that wasn't if that was their sole means of income, it was, how can I transact this person more and squeeze them for every little bit that they got? And that's just what it felt. And I mean, I've been in a lot, and I've reduced it down to 2 at this point. Currently, there were some that I really liked, but I still just wanted more focus on the 2. So don't spread yourself thin. Just find a home, find a family, stay with it, stick to it. But just make sure that it's not a squeeze to make sure to squeeze you for every dollar that you have, because that's not why you're joining a mastermind. You're joining a mastermind to join a family. You're buying friends, essentially. It's kind of weird, but the money is a filter. So like the $25,000 I paid to be in Real Business Owners was a filter to be in like-minded people that are willing to spend $25,000 to better themselves and surround themselves with people of equivalent value. So I'm not at BNI hoping that this insurance guy is going to be my friend. Let's be real. That guy is just there for a lead. He doesn't give a damn about you. But in my mastermind at $25,000 value, nobody's there to sell each other at all. And therefore we all become homies. And we have very deep, relatable relationships. And so just make sure that if you're buying a course, that's fine to be ascended and to be cross-sold and all that stuff, because you're there to buy a specific thing to get specific value out of it. But if you're trying to find a family, a home, a tribe, just make sure that there's, at best or at maximum, there are like levels to where you can dip your toe in the bottom level, and then maybe you can move to the next level and maybe one more level. I would say if there's more than 3 levels to it, be a little leery or concerned about what the objective of the mastermind is. Is it just a cash grab, or is it truly to bring massive value to the community? So being that I joined this mastermind, I was hooked. I was like, oh my God, I found my people, right? And not just that, but are there more people like this? And so this is where you have to be careful. So I went and joined, and I won't drop any names because I don't believe in that. Maybe those groups are for you, but they weren't for me because of the reasons that I mentioned before. They utilize fast cars, Rolexes, and big cash to build clout, essentially, to lure you in. And then from there, they get you into this, and then they try to upsell and promote the next thing, and upsell and promote the next thing. And then they go put their friends that they're part of businesses in. And then maybe they'll do a fund where you'll invest in that fund, and then you'll get your money taken from you. And it's just not a good time. So be very careful as to which tribe that you seek, because we all want to be seen, heard, and appreciated. We also want to be around people like us, and we also want to be successful so badly that sometimes we'll compromise our own core values to go join a group to try to get there faster. And so Real Business Owners, the things that I've learned that I like the most, that I highly recommend you look out for, is that money is not the primary objective as to what drives the group. It's also not what drives the people in the group. Now, money is very important. Obviously, businesses' number one goal is to make money and profit. But Real Business Owners, in that mastermind, we essentially, one of the members hit money and all the things that he thought that was important in life, and then realized he was incredibly unhappy. So we focus on the 4 primary pillars, which are essentially faith, family, fitness, and finances. And so we spend a astronomical amount of time speaking about family, speaking about faith or spirituality, regardless of the religion. The point is to believe in something more than yourself, to where, you can feel that spiritual aspect that you're going to need to feel fulfilled in life. Family, we talked about that in the last video, where I was not going to family reunions. I was not going to see my dad off to go overseas when he was being sent out to war. Those are times that are non-refundable, and those are $10,000 an hour buckets that you should absolutely be filling. And then obviously finances, the money side is important, but how to actually build wealth aside from just spending it on quick things. And then fitness. That's been the biggest thing, the biggest change and motivator in my life was fitness. I mean, I was challenged to go start running after doing 75 hard once. And then all of a sudden I ran a 100-mile ultra, and now I'm training for a 250-mile ultra. And everybody in the group, we joke that it's not a business mastermind, it's a running mastermind, because half the people in the group ended up getting into running. So, that's my number one thing that I wanted to share here is that if you feel lonely in business, that you should seek out a mastermind of some shape or form. It could be a mastermind like Rap IQ if you're in the vehicle wrap industry. It's basically a group of rappers that get together and they have bi-weekly calls on how to become better in the rap industry. Um, and, so real business owners, it's not focused on any specific niche or category, but it's focused on real business owners. And so that one's been fantastic for me because while I love doing the industry specific stuff, because I did come from the vehicle wrap background, I prefer to rub shoulders with people across all industries to where the unique ways that they solve problems, I draw parallels in my industry to help improve my business in a more unique way, to where I am now being one of few in my industry that approaches problems and resolutions completely different than, let's just say, the status quo. So one other benefit of joining a mastermind group is the network itself. So not only do you get access to a group of people that finally understand you, how you operate, how you think, where you can be vulnerable to say, hey, I'm trying to solve XY problem and I don't know what to really do about it. But one of the biggest things that you get out of mastermind groups is the fact that you have a network of people that not only can solve your problems, but you can also do business with. Now, let it be known, don't go walking into a mastermind waving your flag. Lead with value first. So I've spent the last 2 years never talking about my business inside of the mastermind groups that I'm a part of in regards of, hey, I do that service. Let me do that for you. Hey, I do that service. Instead, what I do is, hey, so I learned this today. I think this would be benefit to the group because you guys might be setting up a CRM right now. Hey, I just learned this that in order to get testimonials, if you're doing one-on-one calls, maybe at the end of the call, ask that person what kind of unlock they had, which I got from another group. But what unlock or what value did I provide you today that you are going to leave with that's going to help you in the future to where you can create an evidence file? So anytime I learn something new or come across anything, I provide value into the group of, hey, this leveled me up one more notch. Let me provide that to you guys. Or maybe it's even that you go do some work for somebody for free because you really want to do business with them. And you shouldn't always just give things away. Now, there's givers, matchers, and takers. So you have to understand the energy here. Now, I'm a giver. But the problem is givers are on the top of the totem pole and the givers are on the bottom of the totem pole, and givers can be taken advantage of. And the book that talks the best about this is a book called Give and Take. I can't remember the author's name right now, but I'll populate it on the side of the video. But essentially, you giving and connecting people and providing value to people will actually generate more business for your business than ever saying, hey, look at me. This is what I do. Please buy from me. It looks desperate. And so if you can find angles to provide value for people and pay attention to things that they want, maybe it's as little as they mentioned that they were going through some struggles about a specific topic, and maybe you just send them a gift from Amazon and drop ship it that is very thoughtful. Maybe it's a book that you feel like they could relate to at the time. It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't always have to be time. The point is to lead with value first. And if you do that, I have done well over 6 figures in business with a group of people that I love to hang out with, which is insane, as well as never promoted my business as buy from me. I never call to action the group ever. Now, if I had some kind of thing that I want to try, so like right now I'm working on a new avatar for my CRM business, and I'm like, hey, XYZ company, I have this idea. I don't know what I don't know about this yet, but I want to try out this concept. Would you be interested in being a testing person for me? And it would be mutually beneficial for me to build out this product alongside with yours, and we both win. That's a little different. But obviously that's coming from the giving perspective of like, they're going to get grandfathered in on first round pricing, because once I figure it out, that price is going up and I'm going to take it to the marketplace. So Going into a mastermind group can also greatly increase your network to solve any problems that you have. I literally have a Rolodex of people that right now, if I needed money for a real estate deal and the deal was that good, I could have it funded immediately. If I needed a merchant processor for credit cards because mine booted me out for some reason because I maybe became delinquent for no reason, or maybe Stripe just rolled out that thing where the digital products, they don't accept that anymore, and so I need to talk to this person. I have that solved. Maybe I need a CPA. Maybe I need a fractional CFO. Maybe I need a builder to build my house. I legitimately can solve like 99% of my problems just with one mastermind group alone and their network. So the network aspect of masterminds is absolutely massive. And I just wanted to plug in that one thing, that just don't self-promote. It's not about what can you take from the group. It's about what value can you put in, because if the whole group as a community all puts into the community, then the value as a whole for the entire entity of the group is just massive. So with all that said, I hope you found value in this video. I hope you go out and find your tribe, your mastermind, your group of people, whoever that may be. I hope that this video also helps you avoid some of the mistakes and pitfalls that I did when I first got like super doped up with dopamine on finally finding out this mastermind thing that was so cool and awesome. And I just went out there, I was just throwing money left and right. And that's definitely not what you should do either. But I hope that you can go out, curate your own relationships, do your own due diligence and research, and join a group of people that helps push you to the next level in business, because it certainly sucks grinding and pushing yourself to be as great as you can be and just not being understood. It really sucks. And the people who are doing it at the same time are 100% going to understand you. They're going to be relatable. They're going to be essentially a family, your business family. And hopefully this provides massive value to you guys. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Let me know what a good topic that maybe you're struggling with that I can maybe expand upon a little bit. And as always, there will be a link in the bottom to where if you just need help, I try to dedicate 30 minutes a day to helping somebody somewhere, whether they're in my network or not, within their business. And that's just my passion project, to put good out in the world. So with that said, we'll see you on the next video.